On January 17th, 2022, Gunna outsold The Weeknd to secure the number one spot on the Billboard 200, with Drip Season 4 selling 150,000 units first week, and The Weeknd's Dawn FM selling 148,000 first week. Now, technically, it was 150,300 for Drip Season 4, but technicalities. Now, how did a global superstar like The Weeknd fall 2K short to Gunna's Drip Season 4? With respect to Gunna, there was definitely a lot of hype and anticipation, but I mean, come on, it's The Weeknd. Now, a couple things to know. We're going to be discussing the rollout differences between Dawn FM and After Hours before we break down the release week of Dawn FM. After Hours, a spectacular album, sold 444,000 first week. And you know what's even crazier than that? 275,000 units were physical copies. Hey, what can I say? Us Able fans, we love to have the physical albums. I mean, streaming's cool and all, but there's just something about holding the CDs in your hands, the vinyls, just makes it so much better. Now, on top of more than 50% of the album being sold as physical copies, it was also pushed by three major singles: Blinding Lights, shattering records, hitting the number one spot on the Hot 100, and securing it for weeks and weeks at a time. Heartless also securing the number one spot, and the Save Your Tears remix with Ariana Grande also securing the number one spot. In comparison to Dawn FM, Take My Breath was the only single release, which, topped at number 6 on the Hot 100, which is phenomenal. But in comparison to After Hours, definitely didn't have as many singles being pushed or securing that top spot. And also, Dawn FM did not have any physical copies for its release week. Something that I noticed, you may have noticed, and something that The Weeknd definitely took notice. Now, on Twitter, there was a user, Mr. Pop, who said, quote, "No physical copies, vinyl, CDs, cassettes for The Weeknd's Dawn FM will be available in store during release week. Furthermore, no physical copies will be shipped the first week. This will obviously impact first week figures," something that I'm pretty sure Gunna and everybody else in the industry was paying attention to, including Abel, which he responded with, quote, "This doesn't matter to me. What matters is getting to experience the album together with the fans during these times." And as touching as that sounds, Abel, I'm happy you care about us. This was definitely in his head. Now, is this something that he was waking up every morning in cold sweats, going crazy over? Most likely not. That was me. But it's something that was ingrained in his mind. And I love the competitive spirit, even if he didn't show it too much. But being that he was aware, this was a nice first week that everybody was heavily focused on. Now, Dawn FM released on January 7th. And then throughout that week, a 19-track deluxe edition released on January 12th. And it was dubbed Dawn FM Alternate World, which came with Moth to a Flame and a remix to Take My Breath and Sacrifice, which is a pretty amazing banger. On top of that, on January 13th, the final day of the tracking week, Abel released 3 collector's digital album variants for the standard 16-track Dawn FM. And then he also released alternate cover art versions priced at $349. As well as a digitally signed Dawn FM variant. Now, the Alternate World digital album was priced at $5. In addition, The Weeknd's web store sold the standard edition of Dawn FM for as low as $349 during release week, while the iTunes store sold the standard edition for $7.99. Now, it's one thing to have, a couple, not even a couple editions, to have a set price throughout the week, but to lower the price, have multiple different versions popping up throughout the middle of the week and onward, showed that, hey, we were trying to secure the number one spot. Most likely this was his label handling, because, when you get the number one spot, you get all the proto. Everyone's like, oh my God, you got the number one spot in the country. And you just feel good about it. Now, a couple things to note as well. When it comes to the Billboard 200, this is just based on US numbers. At the global scale, Gunna wasn't close to The Weeknd. I don't have the exact streaming numbers here, but Spotify Global, Apple Music, The Weeknd was shutting everything down. The Weeknd, as far as worldwide numbers, ain't nobody was touching him. Now, to go more in depth with Drip Season 4, and I'm going to start off with Drip Season 4 as far as what happened throughout the week. dropping on January 7th, was the standard 19-track version of the song via streaming services and digital retail. On January 11th, a deluxe edition with 4 bonus tracks was briefly released to streaming platforms and digital retailers. However, it was pulled down that same day. Eventually, a 20-track edition of the album, which added P-Power featuring Drake, the champagne poppy stimulus package coming in at the last minute. Yeah, it felt like something from a movie, man. Just throwing some Michael Bay explosions in the background. It's just adds that dramatic feel to it. I'm doing too much. Now, going on from there, on January 13th is when it released, and Drip Season 4 at a certain point was selling for $4 on Gunna's official web store and on iTunes $7.99. You know, matching the Weeknd. They were matching each other. They weren't trying to lose too much money on this. Now, going over the rollout for the Weeknd in comparisons to his own albums and how that impacted the physical copies, what happened throughout the week, as well as Gunna with Drip Season 4, what happened throughout the week. We're also going to be getting into a major single, which was Pushing P, that gained a lot of traction and sparked the Pushing P meme, which is something that impacted this sales rate, something Abel wasn't able to have with his release. The power of memes, infinite energy that is able to surpass anything in humanity. We've seen everybody from LeBron James asking Gunna, what does Pushin' P means? We've had rappers such as Sauce Walka and other Bay Area rappers arguing over who started Pushin' P, whether they're getting interviewed and saying it's actually pushing this is what it stands for, who originated what. There was a large discussion and controversy. And aside from trying to figure out what it means, anywhere you went on comment sections was just blue Pushing P symbols on top of a successful smash hit with Pushing P featuring Future and Young Thug, which was an incredible track. It was a banger. It was heat. If you try to heat up some food, whatever it was, you put the track on, you have a good day with it. So the power of memes significantly helped Gunna as well. Now, as far as the exact numbers, I'm not sure, but we were all surrounded by Pushing P memes, sound, music, everywhere. Now, another thing to discuss would be the features. The Weeknd's Dawn FM only having 2, Tyler, the Creator, and Lil Wayne, which are amazing features, and also having Jim Carrey on the album. Great stuff. Now, Gunna had damn near the entire industry from Future to Roddy Ricch, 21 Savage, Lil Baby, Dre, G Herbo, so on and so forth. It felt like the entire rap industry was behind Gunna's back, reposting the Pushing P memes, reposting the music, whatever they were featured on. And hey, that Drake stimulus package last minute definitely help. So overall, that's how Gunna's Drip Season 4 outsold the Weeknd's Dawn FM to secure the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 and making probably one of the most exciting first week sales race that we have ever experienced in hip hop, aside from other points. With that, I got more videos on my shoulders around. Definitely check them out. Vivid Nectar, drop a like, subscribe, and I got more content for y'all.